call our meeting to order for the August 18th meeting for the City of Erie Land Bank. Welcome, everyone. And before we move into the agenda, I'd like to give an opportunity for citizens' comments. Do we have any citizens here today that would like to speak? Any citizens' comments? I see none, so we will go ahead and move on to approval of the consent agenda and the minutes from our July 21st meeting. If there are no questions, I would seek a motion to approve those.
I move it.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 None opposed, motion carries. Takes us to the finance report. April?
Thank you. So first you have the income statement, which is the profit and loss. It shows on the back of that page that our total profit so far this year is the $145,120.30. The next page is the balance sheet. That shows that right now in our checking account we have $214,913. And escrow we are holding $20,000 still. And then we have the budget versus actual. And then behind that should be the check disbursement list with, so on that actual list, it does not show a description of what the payments were for, as we were told or hoping for out of Blackbaud. So we had also included a deposit report behind that that should show where the checks were made payable and any other information that you might need for that.
Any questions on the financials? I do have one just general statement. So it looks like we're tracking well ahead of year to date, at least on an annualized basis on the revenue side, which is terrific. A little bit ahead on the expenditure side too. Is some of this timing, is this going to be kind of a smooth annualized rate, or how do we look here?
Yeah, I think we're ahead. A lot of our activity is happening now, and a lot of that major activity, which is associated with Gene and his team's work on the legal side, will settle down here in the next month or so. And again, there was a lot of those quiet title actions that from 2023 and 2024 that they're working through that weren't really budgeted into this. So some of that work is taking place now. So
you think we're still in fairly good shape for the overall? I know within certain line items, sometimes things ebb and flow a little bit. But
yeah, overall budget, we're in good shape. I don't have a problem there. We're under on several of the categories, and we'll be able to make some reallocations here in the coming months.
Very good. That's the only comment I had. Any other questions or comments on the financials? Hearing none, then I would seek a motion to approve the finances as reported.
I move it.
Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed, motion carries. And before we move any further, I just wanted to jump in with the comments section and approving the agenda. Before we move any further, though, I do want to welcome our new colleague to the panel, Ms. Dana Dickerson. We're excited to have you here.
Thank you.
And appreciate your willingness to serve. So
Thanks
look
for
forward
having me.
to working you into the process here. So
Definitely.
thank you. So, okay. Let's go ahead and move on then to report of the executive director. Aaron.
All right, thank you. So this month I included our land bank property list for review and just kind of to update you where we are currently with properties held in inventory. So that list contains 91 properties. Within that, there are 30 properties that have structures. 14 of those are under contract for demolition, and 16 of those are either out for proposals with the realtor or being evaluated by Kyle to determine the next steps on some of those properties, or awaiting clean out or some other type of activity. So some of the vacant lots and some of the other properties identified on there are under active sales agreements, and we're working through that process. As later on the agenda, the tax resolutions always seem to be the one thing. We get to a point of realty transfer, and we got to clear the taxes before we can transfer it. So that's kind of where we are now. Like I said, 91 properties, but it kind of changes as the day goes on and what transfers. So just wanted to provide the board an update on that. Any questions on the property list? And other than that, National Land Bank Summit's coming up the first week of September. I know Sumner and Paul have said that they were going to attend, so we're scheduled there. So we're looking forward to just a good 2 days of national land banking, talking to other land banks across the country and seeing what they do and what we can potentially bring back to Erie. So looking forward to that. Other than that, that concludes my report.
Okay. Thank you, Aaron. Any questions for our director? I just want to say I'm happy that two of the board members are able to attend that conference as well. So anything we can pick up on from other land banks, it's always a positive. So I'm glad that a couple of you are able to attend. So, okay, moving on then. Solicitor's report.
Good
Mr.
afternoon,
Sundberg.
Board. Within your packet, you'll see the monthly report. Again, what we're all about is with regard to the sale of those parcels. You see where we stand with regard to those. Again, we're under an affirmative obligation to make sure that the taxes have been relieved or abated prior to the closing. So that's what we're helping work through to make sure that we can continue to close these transactions for the land bank. So you'll see those itemized sale of parcels. The quiet title actions, we're making significant progress on these. There were a couple of hearings this past week, all of which were successful in obtaining an order from the two judges providing the Erie Land Bank with free and clear title. The first one was with Judge Sala. Actually, that's on the next page. That was, I'm going to try to find that, August 15th. That was 1108 East 8th Street. Then there were back-to-back ones with Judge Piccinini. They're on 427 Liberty Street, and then also 2626 Pennsylvania Avenue. We went through extra hurdles with regard to 2026 Pennsylvania Avenue that caused some title issues that we were able to address with the judge, and as part of his colloquy was able to confirm that there was free title as a result of the tax sale, because this is a property that's going to be rehabbed. So what we wanted to do was to make sure that when the rehabilitation is undertaken and or completed, that there was an assurance that there was free and clear title coming out of there. So we were able to address and resolve that issue with the judge Friday. I have a number of them coming up, and they're getting spread amongst all the judges. So we're known as to what we're doing and the process involved. So it used to be that these were all kind of directed and kind of handled by one judge. There's a number of them, so they're spreading the wealth to everybody. So I think that's a good thing. It's nice to have one judge assigned to it, then you know what the expectations are and anticipation so that you can meet it. But for the board's purposes, I think it's nice for you to know that all the judges know what this board's doing, how we're doing it, and what the process is. So we're seeing Judge Sala, we're seeing Judge Conley, Piccinini, of course, Judge Ridge. So they're all getting a little piece of our pie, which, again, I think is a great thing. And as we discussed last meeting, we're being very successful in reaching out to prior owners and heirs before we have to jump into the deep end on the quiet title actions. You'll see a number of these where the family members are going, hey, just send me the quitclaim deed, we're done, we don't want any part of it, we'll sign off on it. So we're able to do a deed in lieu of condemnation that's able to clear the property, all of any liens. And most of these are not, there aren't liens. It's just, you know, the family just let it go to a point where now we've got to take it. So we're in good shape on a number of those. One that we're gonna talk about here in great order. The subdivision on 9th Street and Cherry, again, I refer to that as the A.J. Adams property. We have the survey back. Aaron has been helping me coordinate the subdivision process in the city of Erie. Every area has a little bit different subdivision process. The city of Erie has their own. We've reached out to that person. What I'm always mindful of is once you start that process, you're under a strict time constraint. So I'm making sure that before we present the plan and our subdivision, that we have all of our ducks in a row. So I've reached out to the neighbors, let them know, hey, look, here's the plans. We're going forward. I want to talk to you before I present this in September, because we're under a time constraint to get it through the city planning, county planning, and then record it. So we're going to be in good shape to be able to do that for those neighbors and get that parcel subdivided and conveyed to the neighbors. So they're excited about it. Last but certainly not least, and Aaron kind of alluded to it a little bit, and there's a resolution in your packet. The Steve Lewis Contracting is going to build on 1737 West 6th Street. When we put together the developers agreement, there was a need for us to make sure that if property stalled or stopped during the development phase, that we had the ability to get it back. So there's language in these developers agreement that basically lets us act upon like a reverter and have a mortgage on it. I knew that those are directed toward people who are self-funding their builds. And those are the people that really they run out of money, or they underestimated what was involved in the project, and they needed more time to get it rehabbed. Steve Lewis going through Marquette Savings Bank, totally different animal. Well-known contractor with a local bank, and when they see that right of reverter and that the Erie Land Bank's reserving a mortgage, they're panicking, going, look, we can't do that. Being somewhat familiar with Marquette's documentation, I know, and I can provide Aaron and the board with assurances, if Steve Lewis gets started in this project and can't finish it for whatever reason, medical, whatever reason, Marquette's going to finish it. So what our goal is to make sure that it's finished, so that if it doesn't, we can either get it back. That's not needed here. So what I've done is I've provided to Aaron and this board a request to have that paragraph removed as part of that resolution, that paragraph removed from the developer's agreement that requires a deed being held in escrow and a mortgage on that property. Because Marquette's they're not gonna let that happen. And I knew that if you have a developer go out with any lender, whether it's Marquette or Northwest or Erie Bank or whomever. So I'm confident that we are protected that this will get built. So you'll see that. So we're in good shape. That resolution is here. They're really anxious to get going. They're chomping at the bit. So I'd like to be able to say, and was sending emails, we're gonna look to close this in the next, if we can do it this week, let's go. So so with that, that's my report. Certainly, if you have questions about the Steve Lewis situation, I'm more than happy to speak with that now or when it comes up as part of the resolution process.
So 2 quick comments, and thank you for that update. 2 quick comments. First of all of the preemptive activity that you engage in is what's keeping all of that claiming activity to a minimum. I don't even know if we have any once these get to the judge. So thank you for all of that preemptive activity, because otherwise that could be a messy process. So that's really kept that quiet. And the other is the deed and escrow, and the way we enforce these mortgages was a design before we rolled out the home opportunity program a couple months ago. So it's got its place. It's certainly not going to, in most cases, it's not going to work with the incentivizing for new construction on vacant lots. So I would suspect that this is going to reoccur often. And to me, it's a very reasonable request. You're not going to get these financed without getting out of the way. So I don't think that we're setting a bad precedent by letting that mechanism apply to certain vacant lots. The home opportunity program is a totally different animal. We have to be flexible and allow that capital to come in. So, I mean, I'm completely okay with this resolution, and it makes sense. They're not really compatible, so.
And Chairman, that was my concern too, is we didn't necessarily want to set a precedent on this, but these are unique situations that call for this, and I think it's appropriate.
And I'm hopeful we see more, because that means that means more new construction's happening. So, thank you.
I just want to say I could concur with your saying, and thanks, Gene. I think if we take a look at this on a case-by-case basis, and we're not setting a precedent, but if you're in agreement and if Aaron's okay with it, let's move forward. We can't be holding these developers back.
If that's a
Need a
motion, I
motion?
second it. Yeah.
I don't think it is, but it's good enough. All right. Thank you. Yep.
Let's take a vote. Do we need a vote?
Well, I think that's coming up later. We're going
Okay.
to. Yeah.
I got one question for Gene. That 102 East 24th, is that a vacant lot? And is that just one lot on 24th, and then the other empty part of that is on French Street? Is that a separate lot, Aaron? 102 East,
110 East 22nd?
102 East 24th on the
That's the
sale?
one on the corner of French and 24th.
Right,
Yeah, yes,
okay.
yeah. the one-
Now, is that the whole lot is part of the 24th Street, or is that some on
No,
French?
there's a separate lot on
Okay,
French Street.
that's what I thought. Thank you.
All right. I think we can move on to unfinished business and new business. Aaron?
All right, so along with what Gene was talking about, we have another request, and Paul from Eastside Renaissance is here if there's any questions. So if the board members recall, back in April, we approved the sale and to enter into development agreements with Eastside Renaissance for 405, 407 East 7th Street, 612 East 9th Street, and 606 East 11th Street. In that time, we put together development agreements, sent them over to Paul and his team, and we've had numerous conversations. But the one sticking point, and it's kind of where we're at now, was that the three of those parcels require $10,000 in escrow and $150 a month in development fee. Eastside Renaissance feels that would inhibit or cripple their ability to renovate those properties, and they're making a request to modify those terms, and as in the enforcement mortgage, our policies and procedures, I will abide by what the board has approved, and if there's anything that has to be modified from that, it'll come in front of the board. So the request is to forego the escrow payments on, or the $10,000 in escrow on those 3 properties, and to modify it to a $200 a month development fee for all 3 parcels sold as a package. So they would still be paying a development fee, they would still be held to the notice of default, there just would be no escrow funds, and they would save themselves $250 a month in development fees.
Are those rehabs or are those vacant lots?
They are rehabs. They are all structures. 606 East 11th Street actually contains 2 structures on 1 parcel. It's got 2 addresses, but it's 1 parcel. And like I said, Paul's here if the board has any questions. He did provide a narrative of their intended scope, kind of their plan and what they plan to do, and kind of a prospective timeline, along with the current scenario as far as the development fees and escrows.
As someone that's been looking for some development south of East 6th Street for years, I've watched where development on East Bayfront was limited to East 6th Street to the Bayfront. For someone to take on the task of developing in a depressed neighborhood from 6th to 12th Street, I think I would support their request. We need something done. It's going to improve the neighborhood. It's going to enhance the quality of life for those residents, and so I support their request.
I would as well.
A second.
And I just want to comment, I've had the opportunity to work with Eastside Renaissance on other projects, and they followed through on them. So I think we need to find a way to support their efforts. Their efforts are appreciated. I just do have a quick question, and I want to make sure that because I support this as well, but I want to make sure that we're not opening a door for later requests. We always have that right to be more of a case-by-case review on this. I guess maybe it's a legal question. I mean, we're not really creating an issue by making an exemption or a decision one-on-one here.
Chairman, and board, I don't think that we are under these circumstances. Again, you want to have a case-by-case ability to address and modify unique situations. You have a track record with this entity, so I would think that it certainly meets all of the guidelines for the board to act in the capacity as so indicated.
Okay, thank you. Well, I fully support it, and I believe we all do, so with that in mind, I would seek a motion to approve.
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Aaron.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate that. This next one is, as like I said, Gene mentioned and we had the discussion on, is the resolution for 1737 West 6th Street to waive section 32 in the development agreement, which is the deed and escrow and enforcement mortgage that Gene had alluded to. So,
Okay. I believe we are all in support of that. If that's the case, I would seek a motion for approving that resolution.
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed?
Want some to work
I'm here to listen and learn.
Okay, vacant lot proposals.
all right. So there's 4 lots on the list. 3 of those, 110 East 22nd Street, 920, 920 and a half West 16th Street. That one, so 920 West 16th Street is an Erie Land Bank parcel. The proposal on that is $500. 920 and a half, which is the rear half of that parcel, is a redevelopment authority parcel, and the proposal on that is $100. So in essence, the Land Bank Board is only governing the 920 West 16th Street, but we want to convey them as one complete parcel to the adjoining property owner at 922 West 16th Street. And then 2708 Downing is a $5,000 offer, which is along the lines of the policies and procedures, which governs it as half the assessed land value as the offer price on that parcel. And then the fourth one, which is the first one on your list, has two proposals. 443 East 16th Street has a proposal from Erie's Black Wall Street to put in a community garden, which they did provide that a few months ago. We kind of tabled it. I'm not sure if it made it into the packet, but, you know, yeah, essentially they're going to put up fencing and install a community garden. And then the second proposal is from Erie County for $500 to develop some kind of homeless supportive housing community on that block. But I don't have any more information on that, and we have not received anything as far as authorization to purchase that parcel or the other parcels they've had requested.
I think we take these one at a time. I'm going to skip over East 16th Street for now. East 22nd, they were the only bidder. It's a side lot. Any questions on the request for East 22nd?
That one lot's already been taken down, right, Aaron? Yeah.
Yeah.
The one lot's already been demoed. Yeah.
I see no reason not to approve it, so. Unless anybody has a question on it. Good. If there are no questions, then can I get a motion for the purchase of East 22nd for 110 East 22nd?
So moved.
I'll move it.
Okay.
Second.
We had a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Motion carries. For 920 and 920 and a half West 16th Street.
I'll move that one.
Second. Oh, dang.
We'll give the newbie a second, all right. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed, the motion carries. 2708 Downing.
They're paying $5,000 for a side lot.
Yeah, our policies and procedures dictate that a corner lot is half the assessed land value. So, and it's a decent sized lot. It is.
Okay.
a
Have
very
we spent
large-
any money on that? Have we knocked down a
Oh,
building?
yeah, we demolished it, yeah. We've spent a considerable amount of funding on that property.
Good. Okay.
I
So
couldn't even
corner
begin to
lots are
guess.
differentiated as to value?
Mhm.
Oh,
Well, it's good that we'll get some of that back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So move.
second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Takes us to 443 East 16th Street. So we have two competing bids.
I would move that we'd go with Erie's Black Wall Street at 550.
Well, I'm a rehab guy, so I know what the county's trying to do there.
I would
So that's
go
why I
with-
saved this one for the last, because I know we'll have some discussion. Sorry, Dana, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I would go with Erie's Black Wall Street. They did recently just purchase a couple buildings around the corner on Parade Street. I think they probably could benefit from having that so close by.
So I guess I have a couple concerns or a concern with both, actually. As I'm sure you all know, there's some question recently about some of these small homes, tiny homes. I'm hopeful we'll be able to work through those issues. And then on the flip side of that, we've worked with folks in the past on community gardens. Paul and I have been on this board long enough to know those don't always turn out well. Although I will say, in this case, with an organization like Erie's Black Wall Street, I would be a bit more optimistic that this would pan out better. So I'm open to discussion to see where everybody
Well,
sits on
I
this.
support the county's rehab program because I know that there's a need for that type of housing. I think in that particular area, those homes would fit well. A community garden right in front of a railroad track, I don't see, how it's going to be serviceable for the residents in the area or where it would add anything. And let's face it, with our homeless, I shouldn't say a crisis, but the county's going to need somewhere to put those homes. And that's an ideal location. It really is. And when you take a look at it, it would fit right there. And it's needed. Needed more than the community garden. There's other sites and other locations Erie Black Wall Street could probably find. And those are my thoughts on it.
Too much to add, or
So the Erie County plans on putting a county rehab program there. Is this just gonna be one single building?
No, they have those little homes on the other side, on the east side of East 16th Street.
Yeah, they're inside the
And you
fence
can see
there.
them sitting there in the field.
They'd like to take those tiny homes and move them onto this piece of land?
That was my understanding when I was told.
Yeah, it was the plan for this parcel. The redevelopment authority owns a parcel. There was 2 repository lots in that area. It's a highly vacant section block, so that the proposal or the plan early on was for multiple dwelling units within that footprint of East 16th Street.
Would they be putting more than one tiny home on the lot?
It was more than one. I believe it was 2, possibly 3. That area, that block is serviced by an alleyway. So essentially you have the ability to split a parcel with access from both sides.
But there aren't homeowners on that block, or I'm not familiar
I
with
think
it?
there's
I
like
have
2
a-
homes left.
I have a duplex listed at 423 East 16th Street, so the tenants are living there.
Yeah, there's not many homes left.
Well, so I'll just weigh in here. I would lean more towards the county's request, but I would absolutely want to see that plans are submitted and it's properly permitted before we transfer the property.
That's fair.
I agree.
So I don't know if maybe this, if we're at a 2-2 vote today, this may have to be tabled till next month. Since our vice chair is not here, she would be a tiebreaker. So I don't know, is that where we stand?
Yeah, I
do you
think we should
feel?
table it until
I'm
next
with
month.
Black Wall Street on this.
Okay. Let's go ahead and record the vote,
Okay.
just to make it official.
Some motion in a second.
Yeah, I move we sell the parcel to Black Wall Street for $550.
Me as well.
Okay,
So motion in a second.
I'll call for the vote.
All right. You want a roll call? Sumner?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Paul?
No,
Chris?
No.
Motion fails. Motion to table?
I move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion's tabled.
Just let them know, I appreciate their patience. We need all five here to break the tie.
All right.
Are we able to ask for more information from each of them for the next meeting, or
You can.
Yeah.
just?
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
get a
we'd like
better
to know the
idea?
density for one, or.
Yeah, we can definitely pull together a lot more parcel data and data on the community garden, and hopefully maybe the county will have some more.
I mean, are these tiny
Plans.
homes, I know they're stacked up someplace, there aren't any in service right now, are there? Or are there?
No, if you want to see them,
So
if you
it's a
drive
new
over.
experiment for the city. and-
Yeah, if you drive over and turn east on 16th Street off Parade, they're sitting right there in that
Yeah, I
that
think
lot,
I've seen
so,
them.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's a great idea. But is
okay,
there
we'll work
enough
to see if we
space?
can get the board some better plans on both sides for next meeting.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. So that takes us to a resolution for tax exoneration.
Yeah, so as I had mentioned last month, and I think we're gonna, as Gene, like I said, and his team works through the conveyance of these properties, clearing the taxes on these has become a monthly occurrence. So we'll probably see these for several months, but included in your packet is a tax exoneration request for the Land Bank Board. If approved, we will forward it off to the school district for their approval, and then that'll take care of the taxes. But it is for a numerous number of properties and amounts of taxes from various years. So, yeah.
So we did not pass this for the properties in 2024? I thought we did. The ones that we recorded. I guess not. Well, this is in line with what we've done before, right? Each time
Yes,
we've had to
this-
do
this
this
is-
is no different.
Our standard process, and as our governing documents, the Land Bank Board has the right to exonerate city and county taxes by resolution. So we'll just request the school district to exonerate theirs.
And it's part of the process of moving these properties along, so I don't have any questions.
I make a motion, we support, request to this district as far as for taxes.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor of property tax exoneration? Aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Okay, 2025 tax sale list.
All right, so I just wanted to, we're getting to that point in the year where we start to look at the tax sale list and then start to try to decide what properties that the land bank is going to go after. So I don't have a list for you, just kind of wanted to provide this list as Kyle and I start to do our due diligence and working with code enforcement and the planning department to try to maybe identify and narrow this list down. Certainly first is occupied, unoccupied, and then we'll go from there. But again, just for point of reference, right now, remaining on this list is 40 City of Erie properties.
And this sale was last December?
No, this is going to be this December sale.
Oh, this December,
So, yep.
okay.
So 40 still remain, and as the next few months, we will probably lose some of those. We might be down to 30, 35 properties here, before the sale hits. But remaining on that list, 8 of them are blighted properties. I will note that it will not be my recommendation at the current time to have any action against the properties on West 9th Street. We have done our due diligence for probably 2 years in trying to find an organization that would steward that property. The authority had the ability to accept the mortgage and foreclose on it. We have not been able to identify somebody who had a fully flushed out plan and the financial means to take that old church and school building and do something with it.
Where was that at?
Is that the Sarah Hearn Church?
Yes, the Sarah Hearn Church, 900 block of West
Oh,
9th Street.
okay.
So it's not in complete disrepair, however, it is a sub-ground level structure, so there is some water intrusion and damage on the first floor in the basement, and the roof is starting to leak, so, but we did spend a significant amount of time on that property, and we were, like I said, unable to identify somebody.
And that's abandoned at this point?
It is abandoned. But other than that, we're going to walk through the rest of these properties, go through, do our due diligence, as I said, check occupancy, water status, code enforcement for any knowledge they have as far as issues with them, and go from there. So we typically hit the blighted properties, since that's kind of a low-hanging fruit. We've already blighted them. In most cases, we have a lot of documentation on those. But as in the past, we will identify some of these that probably should be blighted, but, we can move on them at the tax sale as well. Or acquire a property that is salvageable and something that we can steward into a development proposal for an individual to rehabilitate, so. But if the board can, look through it, if there's anything, any questions or something they feel the, staff should look at or put together for the board, we'll certainly move down that road as well.
That 422 East 10th lot, wasn't there a house fire there next to Denny's not too long ago?
Yes.
So that's somewhere near there.
Yes.
But that's a vacant lot?
422 East 10th Street. Yeah,
It looks to be based on the
that's what it
assessment.
says. It says lot. Yeah, I'll have to look up exactly where that one is in reference. I know and typically we do pull them up on a map and see relation to other land bank or authority-owned parcels so that we can try to start to assemble buildable parcels, which is what we did last year with a parcel on 10th Street, was we acquired a vacant lot right next door to a parcel we already own.
Okay.
So,
Any other questions or comments on the tax sale list? Okay. Takes us to other business. Any other business, Aaron?
I have a question. What's the status on the Locust Street where we were trying to split that into two lots?
it has been surveyed and we're working on preparing the
So
subdivision.
that's still moving forward?
Yep.
Good.
Okay. There is no other business. Just want to make a quick comment real quick. As you saw in my email, planning for this to be my last meeting. I'll be stepping aside. Really enjoyed working with all of you on this. We've come a long way in the past few years. And I meant what I said in my email. I really do believe that it benefits organizations to bring new faces in, new energies, new ideas. We've got a new member joining us today, and I believe I've been here almost 6 years on this board. So I think it's time to hand the baton to someone else, bring in, like I said, some fresh energy, some fresh ideas. But I want to thank you for where you've helped us take this. I know where we were in the early days, and we've come a long, long way. So thank you for all your efforts on that. Thank you to the other board members. We've done a lot of good work, and so there should be an appointment coming soon. I'll be available to still sign off on things until we have a full complement, just to make sure we have a quorum and that things get signed. So I'll still be around. But with that, unless there's any other comments, let's seek a motion to adjourn.
I was to say, my only other comment is I appreciate your service to the board and all your guidance and input over the last 5 years that I have been executive director. I truly appreciate it.
And Chris, I appreciate the work you've done. Kept politics out of it. You looked at it for the good of our community, and I just want to thank you for your service.
Motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
All right. So moved. We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.